I know that a lot of CS folks are sitting on a bench trying to land a new role, and you've been through this recruitment process. What would be your advice for the ones that are trying to get a job in as head of CS, for those senior people that are trying to get a job now? What would you advise them?
Yeah, I feel sorry for people on bench. Not that they deserve, but businesses have to make a call to ensure that they sustain their business and they're able to move forward. This is my experience, right? So what I would say is networking and building connections with your people among whosoever you meet, whichever company that you work with, gives you a long way road for you to make progress in your career, right? So not just say connecting and saying hi, rather trying to understand what they do, what sort of problems they have, trying to build your own case study out of those problem statements. Right. For example, I've spoken to multiple organizations trying to understand what sort of problems they have, just not in CS, but also in other functions. I'm also trying to write a blog out of all my learnings to ensure that it reaches more people. But the fact is, when you start talking to people, right, so you try to just take away those problem statements and try solving it on your own. So that will give you an understanding of what actual problems are in the real world. If not, you will be limited to what you are seeing on a paper or what company is trying to portray as a problem statement outside. So one, when you try to build connection, when you try to network with people, it should not just be fun. It should be pure business, but pure business focused on pure problem statements, right? So that's one. Second, so a lot of companies, startups, especially startups, right? So they're looking for people who can consult them, help them move that needle a little ahead from where they are today, right? And they may not be able to afford people who would want, say, big bucks in their pocket. So it's okay to consult and try and explore those small opportunities and try and help those small organizations. At the same time, you also get to learn something out of it. And also you're trying to make a few bucks out of it. Yeah, I did hire for leadership positions in past, right? Even leaders at, say, directors and VP level, they're not keen on submitting a personalized application. I don't know why, but they're not keen on creating a personalized application for themselves, but they expect their candidates to do that. But I think as leaders, I think we should start writing our own story, ensure there's a good cover letter that helps somebody who's looking at our cover letter decide whether I'm the right fit or not. Because at this moment, I don't think anybody would have time to spend going through your resume, trying to go back and look for, okay, what you did, what did you achieve, trying to understand what sort of person you are. So if you're able to jot down everything in a small cover letter and put that across as an application, I think that should help you move up your applications a little faster. And on top of it, I think very few people maintain their portfolios these days, right? So portfolio also talks about personal brand building. Not everybody would want to do it, but it's an option that everybody can explore, right? There are platforms that you can use to build your brand. There are methods that you can apply to build your brand. You don't have to say do different things. All you have to do is just stay simple, talk about problems that you're solving on day-to-day basis, talk about small achievements that you're trying to achieve over a period of time. And as and when time's right, put that across learnings to people for them to read out. And even if you see resumes these days, you will have a resume which talks about, okay, I did that, I did this, but barely people talk about how did they do that. Especially leadership, I'm talking about CXOs, they look for how did you do it, right? So they try to focus on whatever problem statement you identified and how did you solve it, not what did you achieve. So achievement, end of the goal where you have given a task when you're achieving it. Everybody will, but identifying problems and trying to find out different ways to solve that problem is very critical. I think somewhere if you're able to draft that very clearly and present it to interviewers or your folks who are trying to interview, that will give you a good amount of chance.